Welcome back to Dodgy Band Life. And today, obviously, it's a Honda Life, not Dodgy Band Life, because I'll be working on my Honda Accord. Basically, what happened was the AC just suddenly stopped working one day. So some of the checks that you can do if your AC is bad, it's sort of scattered around on the internet. But basically, what you want to do is check all your electrical connections first of all, right? Like your grounds, and make sure all your switches and stuff are working. And the number one thing you can do is to check your fuses. So here in the fuse box, if you'll see the cover, it'll tell you that the condenser fan is for your AC, is the second one. So you would take that one off, which is right here, right? And then you would see if that's burnt out or not. And then you have a relay, cooling fan relay also, right? Which are this one right here. These are the same, so what you can do is just swap them just to see if it'll pop on or not. I've already checked these are good, so I'm not going to take them out. There's also a fuse in your driver's side kick panel, which would be down here. I don't have a light down here, but it's basically I need to clean up all this wiring too. This is for my alarm, but which isn't working either. But there's a fuse panel down here, and basically the second one, which is the middle one on, I believe, like the third row from the bottom, I believe. Let me see. It's kind of hard to do this with the camera, but yeah, I think there's only 3 rows of fuses, and the second one in the middle is the one you want to pull. And then the other thing you can do here is to check, that all the lights turn on when you push the buttons, and all mine do. So then the last thing you can check is your compressor relay switch, or your compressor switch is down here under the fan. There's a plug down here which I can maybe try to get to. So this will be a single prong connector right here, as you can see. And basically you want to take like an alligator clip or something, or just a piece of wire, and jump this to your battery. Alright, so I got an alligator clip to that single lead down there, to that connector, right? And then I'll just hit the positive side on the battery terminal, and you should hear some clicking. That means the compressor is engaging. So then the last thing you need to check, then I know it's not really good for the environment, but you're gonna open up your I guess this would be like the high side or low side. I'm not sure which side is the low side. There's another connector or place here, down there, this cap right here, but either one, I just used this one because it was easily accessible. And you're just gonna push on the Schrader valve just to release some. If there's enough pressure in there, it'll sound like, if you were to, it's the same thing as like a tire valve, a valve stem, so you would hear a lot of pressure exiting. But for me, when I pushed it, it sounded really weak. I don't know if you can hear it. You can kind of hear something coming out, but it's just barely. It's like really low. So that means there's no more pressure in my system. So basically what I'm going to do is to convert it to, these cars came with R12, and I'll be converting to R134, which I have the connectors here, right? A lot of forums say that the high side doesn't actually fit on these because the sizing is wrong. So let me go ahead and take this out and start doing this. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is remove the old Schrader valve. And the kit comes with this nice little tool, the Schrader valve tool. I'm just going to stick that in there. And just unscrew that out. And it looks like the fatter one of the 2 connectors that they gave fits on this one. And that has a Schrader valve pre-installed in it, so I don't have to install a new one, I don't think. Let me go ahead and just make sure that's nice and snug down there. Yep. Alright, well, none of the fittings I had fit on the low side, so I think that's pretty normal. Okay, vacuum's on. Open the gauge. It pulled 30 inches of vacuum pretty much immediately, as you can see. So I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to see if that holds it. Oh no, that doesn't hold at all. That means I have a leak somewhere. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to have to find this leak. I'm guessing it might be coming from the Schrader valve on the low side, because I took that out, and then when I put it back in, maybe I didn't tighten it. But let me see if I can figure this out. Alright, so after just messing around with it, I don't think there's an actual leak in my system. I'm guessing maybe the hoses are bad for some reason, because right now I don't have it connected at all. I did have the hoses backwards, basically like this little bend in the wire, or the hose needs to go on this side. So I did switch that around. I'm not sure it made much of a difference though, because theoretically, right, if this is the vacuum line, the yellow line, and it goes through this side, which I'm not using the right hose for or anything, but that's the only way I can do it. And if I turn the vacuum on, theoretically if this was closed, it should hold vacuum just from inside the lines, right? Because it's only measuring what's inside this line. So when I do that, so the vacuum's running, right? We got 30 inches of vacuum, right? And theoretically, when I turn the vacuum off, it should just hold that, because it's whatever pressure's inside this line. You know what I mean? Because it's not connected to anything, and I have this closed all the way. This valve is closed. So when I turn that off though, you see that? The vacuum's just going down to 0, and it's not connected to anything, and everything's shut. Like this is open, right? This is closed all the way, right? And then this shouldn't matter, it's a purge valve. And then this is open to get to here. This is all the way closed, right? So theoretically it's a closed loop system right now, because unless this is letting in air. And the other weird thing was that when I put this on, I hear a leaking noise, but it's coming from this valve right here. Like it sounds like it's leaking from here. And then so when I let's say I detach the system, right? So I'll put it on. So that's on, right? And then when I open this, if there's vacuum in the system, it'll read the vacuum. It'll like go from 0 and it'll go up because there's vacuum in the system. So let me see if I can open this. Got it pretty tight. I think I need 2 hands for this. Alright, so I got it open, and you see that? See how the vacuum just went up to 20? It was at 0, and when I opened the thing, because there's vacuum inside the line, it went up to 20. I guess it's staying pretty steady there. It was leaking before, and I think it was out of the fittings, and not the retrofit fittings, but the valve from the line set. I guess it's slowly going down because it was at 15 and now it's at 10, and it's creeping down. It's 9, 8, so it's leaking out of the lines, it feels like. Alright, let me know in the comments if that's normal. Like, I feel like the line set should just hold vacuum, but it doesn't. So I'm going to try exchanging it for a different set, and if the next one does the same thing, then I guess that's normal. But yeah, let me know in the comments if that's normal. Alright, well, I went and got a new line set, and it was still leaking, so I narrowed it down to maybe the vacuum pump, because it was gurgling. So gotta exchange that one out, got a new one of those, and here is the first test. Make sure all this stuff is gonna work. Okay, and yeah, I guess let's try doing that. Hopefully this will work this time. Alright, looks like we got about 28 inches of vacuum, and it looks like it's holding. So yeah, must have been a bad vacuum pump. Alright, well, it's been about 20 minutes and it looks like it's holding steady at 28 inches of vacuum. So that means the system itself has no leaks, which it shouldn't. I don't know why it would. I think the R12 just sort of drifted off because it's a 30-year-old plus car. So, you know, eventually it does leak out of the compressor and whatnot, but it looks like it's doing well so far. So I'm going to go ahead and pull vacuum for about 45 minutes to an hour. And yeah. Alright, well, let's go ahead and turn that off. That's been running for about an hour. So let me go ahead and close this. And close this. Now, I think that's safe to disconnect the vacuum, I believe. So let's go ahead and do that. Yep. And then I'm gonna need both hands for this, so let me set up the R134. Alright, so now I got it set up. I got this stuff. It is ester oil with R134 in it, I guess, or something. And I'm using ester because I believe the R12 system used mineral oil or something. And so I guess ester is the type of oil that will least react with it or whatever, because I guess R134 is not really compatible with mineral oil. So this will help to mix together. I also switched the line over to the high side since I'm on the high side. The instructions say to fill from the low side, but I don't have a fitting for the low side. So I'm going to have to fill from the high side. Hopefully it'll work. I'm sure it'll be fine. Alright, so I got the car running. Let's see if I can undo this. Can open. We're gonna purge it. I don't see anything coming out. I guess some stuff is supposed to come out. I'm guessing that's probably enough. I'm not sure. I mean, that's probably enough air come out of the system. Okay, then I'm going to open these valves. Go ahead and do that. Alright, well, this can feels empty, so I did see stuff going in, so I'm guessing all the oil is in there. And then I'm going to swap over to the R134 now. Alright, so I've swapped over to the R134 and it should start to suck in R134, I'm hoping. Turning the dial down on the thing too much and it was blocking the flow, so I actually loosened it a little bit. And it looks like there's Freon moving into the system now, and the car went into like a higher RPM, so I think the compressor kicked on. So this car takes about 2 cans of this. I think it's actually like 30 ounces, but I think 2 cans and maybe some change might work. So I'm not sure what the high side pressure reading should be. But I guess I can look that up. I'm gonna go ahead and dump 2 cans into this and then see where we're at. Alright, well, that was 2 cans down the hole. I think that's enough. Normally you need to put in 75% of the amount of R12 you're supposed to put in. I think the amount of R12 this takes is around 30 ounces. So 75% of that is something like 24. So it's like 2 full cans, pretty much. I think that should do it. The cooling fan is running now, and I believe the AC compressor kicked on. So let me go ahead and feel here what the air inside the car feels like. Oh yeah, that's chilly. I mean, it's not like super cold. Let me see if I can turn on the light here. Yeah, is that better? Slightly. I mean, it's not super cold, because I probably did some of that wrong. But it is chilly. So, you know, I would say that's working. So let's see if the compressor kicks off when I push the AC button. Yep, the car changed how it sounded. It's kind of a, it's not that hot right now. So it might be a little bit hard to tell what the actual, how cold it is. I mean, I don't have a thermometer. Okay, so this is, it's like equalizing. So the air coming out of the vents right now is just ambient air, the air temp. And I believe it's around like in the 60s right now. So yeah, it just feels like normal room temp air pretty much. And then when I switch on the AC, the compressor comes on, and the air is noticeably getting cooler. Yeah, it's cooler for sure. So yeah, I would call that somewhat of a success. Alright, well, that's pretty much how you retrofit your R12 vehicle into R134. Oh, I also want to thank you guys for the 1,000 subscribers. That's awesome. I never started this channel thinking that a lot of people would watch me or want to watch me. But yeah, hopefully this wasn't too boring, and maybe I'll make better content here coming soon. This is just something I needed to get done. So I needed AC, and living without AC, especially in the south, is pretty rough in the summers at least. In the winters it's not so bad. But yeah. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching.